Right? That's not a dogmatic statement or rhetorical assertion. But when one looks into the depth of sorrow and understands the movement of it, in which is involved pleasure, desire, attachment, and the consequences of that attachment which brings about corruption. If we are tied to anything, it will bring corruption, inevitably. And when one is aware, without any choice, without any movement, aware of the whole nature of sorrow, then can love exist with sorrow? You understand? Or love is something entirely different. I think we ought to be clear that devotion to a person, to a symbol, to the family, to something or other, is not love. Right? Please, is it? I'm devoted to you for various reasons. There is a motive behind that devotion. Love has no motive. Right? If there is a motive, it's not love, obviously. If you give me pleasure sexually, various forms of comfort, dependency, the motive is I depend on you because you give me something in return. And as we live together, I call that love. Is it? So one questions where there is motive, can love exist? And where there is ambition, whether in the physical world or in the psychological world, ambition to be on top of everything, to be a great success, to have power, religiously or physically. Where there is aggression, competitiveness, jealousy, can love exist? Obviously not. But yet, we recognize it cannot exist, and yet we go on. Look what happens to our brain when we are playing such kind of tricks. I say I love you. I have a motive behind that love. I am ambitious. I want to be spiritually next to God, especially in His right hand. I want to achieve illumination, all that. Deception. You cannot achieve illumination. You cannot possibly achieve that which is beyond time. But that is our constant endeavor, psychologically. So I'm ambitious, competitive, conforming, jealous, fearful, hating, all that's going on, psychologically, inwardly. Either we are conscious of it or deliberately avoiding it. And yet I say to my wife or father, whatever it is, I love you. So what happens when there is such deep contradiction? In my life, in my relationship, how can that contradiction have any sense of deep integrity? You're following me? And yet this is what we are doing all till we die. So can there be no ambition and yet live in this world? Go to the office, factory, being a shop steward. Oh, you may not know that word. In England, the ambition of a guru. Do you understand? Can one live in this world without ambition, without competition? Look what is happening in the outward world. There is competition between various nations, which is taking place. Please look at it, for God's sake, what is happening in the world. The politicians are competing with each other, economically, technologically, in the instruments of war. They're competing, and so destroying ourselves. We allow this to go on because we are also inwardly competitive. And we realize the politicians are never going to solve a thing. But if we are totally responsible for ourselves and have this deep integrity, then we'll affect the consciousness of the world. As we pointed out, if few of us are really understand this whole movement of what we have been talking about for the last 60 years, and few of us are really deeply involved and have brought about the end of fear, sorrow, and so on, it will affect the whole of consciousness of mankind.